The NSC closing at 4,621 today. It's down somewhat 10 points. Nonetheless, there's been general improvement from the figures we'd seen in December. The momentum seems to be up. Your outlook for the markets this week?
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, Happy New Year.
Thank you, you too.
I think the outlook looks very positive. We started the year with a bang, 2.6 billion turnover for the first week. And I think most houses are opening this particular week. And we saw almost 40 to 50% demand coming from the foreign side. I think going forward, you're going to see the demand coming through from both ends, local and foreign. And you should see a very active month this particular month in the stock exchange.
I mean, obviously, you're saying there's a lot of optimism, and we have seen in general across the board prices doubling up. We've seen the index rising 4.27% this 2011, driven largely by banking stocks. What is your opinion of what's going to happen in the sector going forward?
My own opinion is, first of all, the third quarter, the economy grew by about 6.3%, and I'm expecting the fourth quarter was even above 6%. This is a replica of what happened in 2004, December, and then in 2005 and 2006, you saw the market really rallied up. I think the banking sector has done very well. An increment of almost 250 billion on a year-on-year basis in terms of deposits that came through the economy. And I think all the banks all across have done very well, and they have remained very, very liquid. I'm expecting that the stock market is going to be driven upwards in this quarter, next quarter, mostly from the financial sector, particularly from the banking sector. Okay,
let's talk about the financial sector in general. We have news reports that authorities have extended the deadline for insurance companies to make payments to Kenya Reinsurance. All of them have to put in something like 18% of their business into Kenya Re. Has that affected insurance stocks in any way?
There's a bit of a lag because that cess that has been extended by the government has been there all through. But as you know, only Jubilee and Pan-Africa are listed. The rest are not listed. And Kenya Re is listed as well. We are likely to see the impact of that announcement coming through this particular week, particularly when the funds and the institutions get in the market. But on the other side, you see, that was bringing a bit of concern for most long-term investors in Kenya Re. So I think this brings a bit of comfort. And I should see probably the price of Kenya Re is going to stabilize. Right. It may not necessarily go up because people are already factored in this, and you know the government is going to support it anyway.
All right, let's talk about Safaricom, which is a major mover and driver of the stock market. We've seen improvements in recent weeks, foreigners coming back into the market to buy this stock in particular. Your outlook for Safaricom, because as we've been talking about, a major shake-up in telecoms in Kenya expected. Safaricom the only one that's listed, but will it be affected by general regulatory changes and growing competition?
No, it will, no doubt. But I think Safaricom scored a positive one last week, when the CCK came to go over their suggestion that we may not reduce so much the rates for the SMSs. And I think them plus Telecom Kenya did very good on that. And I think if you look at the last quarter, which Safaricom was really affected because of that quarter, because of the competition in the voice, I think people have gotten used to. When it comes to the stock market, Safaricom end of year is on the 30th of March. And I think this quarter, people are going to be looking very careful to see how the regulatory changes are affecting the industry, and particularly how Safaricom reacts. As you know, I think the data sector has been doing very well and is projected to do extremely very well, more than the voice in terms of growth year on year. So probably those are going to be the factors that are going to drive the prices. Right now, at a price just slightly above 5 shillings, it's pretty much discounted.
Let's talk about KPLC, which was the focus in the December season. Their rights issue, many investors trying to liquefy their positions in order to participate. What's happened in that space?
We are still waiting, actually. However, actually, since I'm expecting a lot of positiveness coming through there. For one, I think the demand for power, as you know, has exceeded the supply. And I think the Rural Electrification Authority, which has been connecting 150,000 housing units, households in a year, has been overwhelmed because they've not been able to keep up with the demand. I think it's very critical that Kenya Power raises even half of that money, because we are looking at being able to increase the efficiency in distribution. Don't forget that Kenyan, on the other hand, got a boost from that foreign loan that they got, which they are going also to increase their geothermal as well as hydro. And I think the whole power sector should be able to benefit the industry. And I think the prices should be able to react positively when we get to hear the half-year results.
And Fred, a final comment from you. We're seeing the shilling slightly under pressure, somewhere in the region of 81 shillings 25. Many experts expect the shilling to go as much as 81.75 in terms of losing some value. On the other side, we're also seeing increased activity in the bond markets, but the yields are low. Just talk to us about this correlation, what you expect for the currency and the exchange rate, and how this may impact on the bond markets.
Okay, first of all, let me start with the currencies. By the way, tomorrow we're having our coffee auction coming through. I'm expecting the grade 1, P1 Kenyan Arabica coffee to fetch anything between $600 to $750 for 50 kg coffee beans. So that's a positive note. But on the exchange, I think we are most likely going to see a weaker shilling going forward from that 80 almost to 82. Because you see that there's been a bit of demand, and seeing the central bank has not helped it either. They come in the market, they offer $8 million, and I think that has pushed the demand for the dollar quite high. So I'm still seeing 81.50 all the way to 82, probably going to the end of the month. Now, coming to the fixed income segment, very interestingly, today the central bank approved a borrowing of 16 billion into reopening of the FXD 21010 and a new 5-year paper. I think this is January. The market has generally in the last quarter remained very, very liquid. I should expect the interest rate to stabilize, probably 21010 coming at the same rate of between 8.75 to 9%, and the 5-year just between 4.50 to about 5%. So on the interest rate side, I'm seeing a lot of stability coming through.